Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game Hub. I'm your host, GamerK. So, Spider-Man's had a big success this year, with the Spider-Verse movie reaching box office records, and for the Marvel Spider-Man last year getting big, doing an amazing job. Spider-Man's definitely getting some more popularity nowadays. Although, a lot of people seem to forget about the other stuff that Spider-Man was in. For example, the Amazing Spider-Man TV show, the Spectacular Spider-Man, the Edge of Time video game. Okay, yeah, can we all forget that one didn't happen, please? Because that was garbage. But a lot of people seem to forget about this classic gem from 2010. Shattered Dimensions definitely took a different route of going for Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery and Adventure. So, what's my thoughts on the Web Slingers multi-dimensional game? Let's dive in. So, the story starts off, and obviously in every single something Marvel, Stan Lee has to be a part of it in some way or another. But instead of him being a cameo like in Marvel's Spider-Man, which is by far one of my favorites because it was one of the last things he did before he passed away, he's the narrator of the game. So I think that's pretty cool. The story starts off with the museum, and Mysterio's going to steal the Tablet of Order and Chaos, because when you name something like that, of course a villain is going to steal it. And he's going to sell it in order to make money. Yeah, it's going to be one of those games, but it gets better really quick, guys. Spider-Man obviously comes in and spoils his fun. I'm kind of glad they didn't do a mini fight scene with this battle. Actually, you know what? Why didn't they? It's just one big cutscene in the beginning. Why couldn't we have a mini boss with Mysterio? I think it would have been a cool opening to start off with a boss battle. Have any other games started off with a boss battle? Oh, yeah. Marvel's Spider-Man. So afterwards, Spider-Man punches the tablet. Mysterio gets away. And Madam Web comes out and tells him that pretty much he kind of screwed up. The tablet has magical abilities, and if, where's that clip? If fallen into the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic. No clue what film that is from, but I'm just doing it because. So now it's up to us to find the tablets. And not just Spider-Man, we get 4 different Spider-Man in this game. So, the Amazing Spider-Man, the main one, focuses on web-style combat, which was drastically improved in the new game. The Noir level focuses more on being stealthy and not being seen, and I like those. Those are by far my favorite sections in the game. 2099 focuses on speed-based combat and slowing down time, and also doing dive sections where you gotta avoid stuff and hit the enemy. Ultimate focuses on the power combat with the black suit, and it definitely lets you go berserk. Now, after the tutorial mission of showing you how each Spider-Man goes, we find out Mysterio found out what the tablet does. And it grants him actual magic powers. Well, this can't be very good. Now, the game is 10 hours long for the main story, but for those completionists out there, and oh boy, completionists are going to have a fun time with this game, it will take you about 23 hours to complete all the trophies. Now, let's get on to the main game focus. The game has, excluding the tutorial and the final boss, the game has 12 levels. And since this game has an act progression system where it will be Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And since we got 4 dimensions, each Spider-Man gets 3 bosses. So yeah, we got 12, 13 full bosses in total. Villains in total. Boss battles, there's about 2 each. And it's very well done. It is very well done. Each level is stylized for each Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man focuses more on the more realistic look. I mean, back in 2010, as realistic as they could get it. Where the Spider-Man focuses on the web-slinging combat, and the combos work too, swinging around the areas, looking for in different locations. The locations in the Amazing Spider-Man universe consist of a jungle temple, a rock quarry, and a construction site. Now, and it is stylized beautifully. This is definitely one of my favorite level sections in the game. The noir level, now a lot of games claim to be a dark noir story when all they do is just have everything in black and white. I mean, this game does that too, but it does it better by having actual color in the game, not just hints of red for blood everywhere, but for character-wise, it is basically dark colored tones. There's barely any bright colors. And I think that works to its advantage, keeping the stealth sections in the dark, gritty areas. And at times it can definitely be creepy, especially if you're a stealth type gamer who doesn't want to get caught once. Actually, there's an achievement in this game for that. Complete a noir level without getting caught once. Now, the areas in the noir level consist of a train yard, alleys, and abandoned buildings, and the circus. And oh dear God, the noir level knows how to make these levels creepy beyond all hell, especially with the highly stylized textures of the villains in these levels. Yeah, you're gonna not want to play these in the dark because it's terrifying. Now, the 2099 definitely has the futuristic look. It's because of the high-tech weapons that the enemies use, the definite high-rise and the technological look of all the buildings and inside the buildings. Especially with the story that goes with it. Now, the areas in this are the high-rise of 2099 New York, with, basically we're swinging through the rooftops, basically. We get, I believe, a mall, and, I'm not 100% sure. And then we have Alchemix Labs, where that's where the big villain is. One thing I like about this game is, even though its progression is very well done, Noir and 2099 seem to have a cohesive story going throughout all 3 chapters within their own universe. Amazing and Ultimate are kind of the, hey, we randomly found a villain and they have a tablet or something similar. It's more coincidental for them, but it's storyline for 2099 Noir. So having a basic story within your story is good, and I give them props for that. The Ultimate is really, really good. Having the black suit, having a younger Peter Parker, like when he was a teenager, and just the ability to just go out crazy and have this immense amount of power in the level for your suit. And not only that, but the levels are definitely, this level is definitely stylized more like a comic book to fit with the Ultimate art style. Now, the levels here are a power plant, an oil rig, which I might explain later, and the shield hovercraft. Hovercraft? Yeah, it's the hovercraft. And oh boy, does it look like a horror show. But like I said, the levels are definitely designed to fit each Spider-Man. And I'm glad there wasn't like crossing over between the dimensions. Because I think it works well the way they did it here. Now for you achievement hunters out there, get ready. Because in every single level, there's a good amount of hidden golden spiders throughout each level. And you gotta know exactly where they are. Because it is a pain. I don't even have half of them. I just play through the game. I'm not hunting down each level again. Now, oh, forgot one thing. There is a level up system. As you complete sections of the game, you can level up each Spider-Man, their abilities, their combat, their health. Now, one thing that this game has done is the Web of Destiny, which is basically your progression throughout each level, doing certain tasks. So think of this like in Assassin's Creed before Origins, where you had to do certain things to get 100%. And each level has their own challenges. And it's a cool idea, but it's also a pain in the neck. Seriously. For example, in the final battle with Kraven, who's the first level, you need to get him to destroy about 20 pillars. And then in Hammerhead's level, with his first boss battle, you need to get him to destroy the columns. I'll explain. He is in the middle of a columned section where he has a giant Gatling gun and he's firing it on like in the you know that train switch mechanism that switches the train route? Yeah, he's on that, and you got to get him to see you and destroy each column that you're hiding under. And boy, does it take a long time for that to happen. It's annoying is what it is. There's a good majority of other fun ones, like when you're fighting Deadpool, defeat his clones in a certain order. In Carnage's level, you have to throw him into the fire 3 times, which is difficult enough. Gee, is there another fun one? Oh, in Sandman's level, in the final battle, when there's debris flying everywhere, you have to find Juggernaut's helmet in there and land on it. I got that just by luck. I didn't even know it was there. So, yeah, the Web of Destiny definitely has some specific difficult challenges, but a majority of them are mostly like complete this section without getting hurt, fight this many enemies. So yeah, if you want to, if you're a big completionist, this is definitely a game that's going to take your time. So and the way they do the Web of Destiny, having it be each level and not each dimension, is great. It's fun. It's challenging. It will definitely put your skills to the test in this game. And yes, after you upgrade, you can go back in the previous level and retry to get all of them done. Because, yeah, if this was a one-shot like, if you only had one shot to get all these achievements done, yeah, good luck, buddy. Now, I talked about the boss battles, and they are some of the coolest boss battles ever. Each one has their own unique mechanic, and it's good to do that, because in a game like this, where there's so many bosses, you need to have them each be different from each other. You can't have 2 bosses the same, or else people will start to get bored of it. For example, with Electro, you fight him in the power plant, and you gotta get him once he's... I'm not gonna say it. Once he's stunned, you gotta knock him out and keep hitting him. And he has the ability... I'll talk about what I was going to talk about after I finish this Electro thing. Did I do why doesn't he have pants joke? Yeah, well, can't he just put on a pair of pants? You'll understand if you play the level. And then in the final battle confrontation, he's supersized at the dam. So this boss battle isn't about damaging him as it is about you getting him to damage the dam. Because water is not good with electricity, and it's a pretty fun boss battle. Now, I once again missed a bit. The enemies in the game are definitely unique in their own right with each level. Like, it's not the same enemies except for the Noir and 2099 level, because Alchemix people are still being used, and the Public Eye, which are the police force. But, yeah, other than that, the other levels have their own enemies, such as Kraven's followers, Electro's electric monsters that he creates, Scorpion's mini versions of himself, Carnage's horror-themed symbiotic monsters, and, let's see, what's another cool one? Deadpool's army, and by army, he means production assistants, and by production assistants, he means unpaid interns, and by unpaid interns, he means fans. That's right, Deadpool has us taking on his fans. And then this is said, lamest supervillain ever. I don't know there, Spidey. Deadpool has 2 successful movies that did not include being recasted. What have you done in terms of movies? So yeah, each level does have its own style, its own characters, and its own enemies, which makes it feel less of a grind to play. And each enemy does have their own weaknesses and abilities, so it works. Now, back to the boss battles. Each boss has their own, again, combat mechanics and their own abilities with the tablet. For example, Kraven gets super speed, so he's definitely a deadly predator. Hammerhead, his 2 Tommy guns fuse into his arms, giving him a Gatling gun and a rocket launcher arm, which, for a mobster, that's pretty much a dream come true. Vulture gets the ability to teleport, and oh frickin' god! The way they did Vulture, it's not like, okay, I'm gonna explain. In 2099, instead of Hobgoblin being a Green Goblin wannabe with the glider, he's pretty much like a cybernetic gargoyle. For Scorpion, instead of having a mechanical suit, he's basically a mutated scorpion monster. Yeah. And in the Noir level for Vulture, he doesn't have a cybernetic suit. He's a circus freak who looks like a bird with the long, creepy beak and the thin arms. And, oh, God, that level gave me nightmares as a teenager. It was, especially the moments. A majority of the boss battles, you will get up close and personal with the bosses, and you'll basically hit them, and then you'll dodge their attacks, and you have to get in close with them. And with Vulture, it's a living nightmare. It's like French kissing Freddy Krueger. It's that close. I can't believe I just used that sentence. So Vulture has the ability to teleport near the end of the level, and it's just creepy. Oh, but I love the way you have to take him out. You have to get him into a spotlight and shine the light on him, and then you can damage him because, you know, he's got weak eyes, so he's not that good in the light. Deadpool has the ability to duplicate himself into 3 with their own weapon. It only happens in the end of the level. I'm going to say this. Deadpool's level is by far the most hilarious, well in concept, And it's downright so ridiculous, so insane, that you can believe Deadpool would do this. He makes a game show where contestants have to fight their way on an abandoned oil rig that he tricked out to be like a crazy amusement park, and fight his fans and do challenges. And it's called Pain Factor. Tell me you wouldn't watch that if Deadpool was the host. And Hobgoblin has the ability to warp your mind with psychic abilities. Honestly, each boss has their own special abilities because of the tablet, and it's all done beautifully well. And the final boss in the game is a combination of all 4 levels, and I'm not going to give too much away because it's one of the best final bosses I've ever played when I was a kid. It was great. It tested everything we knew, had a certain amount of difficulty, and a satisfying conclusion. Now, one thing this game did exceptionally well was its voice roster. I'm going to tell you this. This is a great list. They got a great list of voice actors to be in this game. They got Tara Strong to voice the female Doc Ock. For the Amazing Spider-Man, the main one, they got Neil Patrick Harris. And it's good to see that he redeemed himself after Spider-Man, the new animated series. Can we just please, like Edge of Time, can we please forget that existed, please? And for those of you who are wondering, Neil Patrick Harris was Spider-Man outside of this? Where? Well, that will be 13 episodes of a show you will never get back of your life. Steve Blum, one of my favorite voice actors, voices a good majority of villains. His creepy voice is used for Vulture, which makes that level even creepier. But, Steve Blum, I love you, man. It was great meeting you at Fan Expo, and yes, can you not do creepy voices, please, for a little bit? First it was Ghost Freak, then it was Green Goblin, then it was Starscream, and then it was this. Please be something cheerful for a little bit. David Kaye, the voice of Beast Wars Megatron, voices Mysterio. And I can kind of see that being a joke. Nah, I can't do the voice. Yes. Well, at least he's not a dinosaur with rollerblades on his feet. Jim Cummings voices a wide variety of the cast. Tom F. Wilson voices Electro. For those of you who don't know him by name, he is Biff Tannen from Back to the Future. So yeah, having Biff play Electro and hearing all these clever cracks that he has, I'm like, where's a pile of manure when you need it? But yeah, a lot of other great voice actors and actresses. Okay, not so much actresses because there's really only 2 main female voices in the game, so really hoping in the next Marvel Spider-Man we get a lot more female characters. Can we have Black Cat again? But yeah, this game was definitely a favorite of mine in high school, and it still is. I mean, a couple things could have been better. For example, replacing Juggernaut and Deadpool as villains with maybe Lizard, Venom, Shocker, Rhino. I mean, all those villains could have been used here, but I guess they wanted to try something different and kind of connect to the other Marvel universes. But yeah, forgot to mention back to the Web of Destiny. I forgot to mention this. Each level has 15 challenges. So if you do 15 times 12, that will be 180 different challenges to do. And that's a lot for a game like this. So, the story is very creative. It doesn't branch too far into into being overly done or over the top. The levels are stylized for each hero, and they're done beautifully. The combat has no issues. There's barely any problems with gameplay. The boss battles are unique, fun, and it definitely makes you realize there's a lot of villains outside of the ones that they decide to use in the movies. Yeah. The Rogues Gallery is a lot bigger than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, guys. Put more of these unknown villains in the next games. With a great voice cast, with great animation, with a great side stuff to do, this game checks all the points off. So, GamerK's final verdict for Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions is a 9 out of 10. It skips being a perfect game because, for me, a perfect game is a game that doesn't make me think, what could have been done better, you know? Like, what villains could have been replaced? What other things could have been done in each level? That stuff, small stuff like that. Like, stuff that makes me nitpick. And getting me to nitpick is easy. So a game that makes me think, how could it have been better? Or what could they do in a sequel? But this game definitely did its job when I was younger. And it gave us a Spider-Man adventure that is worth a good rating. That's the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Share this video with your friends. And next week, join me next week in the Game Hub as I go over some of the biggest missed opportunities in a series where nothing is true and everything is somewhat permitted. This is GamerK, logging out.